good morning once again, everyone. So, I welcome to you to the almost the last session of this one. After this, in the post lunch, we will have valediction. So, let me ask. I'll be talking about ethical, social, and security issues that may crop up in the metaverse domain. As we know that this is a topic that is, or this particular aspect is still evolving. Am I audible loud and clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
And my screen is also visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let me start with a small perspective of Aadhaar card usage. So all of us have this Aadhaar card with us. So let me show you this Aadhaar card usage. So operators calls, someone customer calls to a pizza house and thank you for pizza house. May I have your number? Hello, I can order. So operator asks for the Aadhaar number first. So customer gives his Aadhaar number. Operator says, okay, you are Mr. Samalia calling from so and so house number. Your home number is such, your office number is such, and your mobile number is such. Which number you are calling, sir? So the I said home, and they said, okay, but how did you get mobile number? See, we are connected to the system, sir. So I ask, so the customer asked for the, let's say, paneer tikka extra spicy pizza, right? Uh, so operator says that's not a good idea, sir. So the customer asks why. So operator says, sir, as per your medical records, you have a high blood pressure and even high cholesterol level. So the customer asks, then what you recommend, sir? You can try out our low fat pizza. You like it for sure. So he said, customer asked, how do you know for sure? So the operator says, because you reads the book entitled Popular Dishes on your Kindle from Amazon last week. So the customer says, okay, give me 3 family size ones. How much that will cost? It says, so the operator says that will be good for your family of 5. The total is 900. So the customer says, can I pay by credit card? Operator says, sorry, sir, you have to pay us by cash as your credit card is over the limit and you owe your bank so much money. That's not including the late payment charges on your housing loan as well. Customer says, okay, then I'll run to the ATM and withdraw some cash. Operator says, you can't, sir, because based on our records, you have reached your daily limit on the machine withdrawal today. So customer says, okay, never mind. Just send the pizzas, I'll have the cash ready. How much long it will take? It says 45 minutes, sir, but if you can't wait, you can always come by and pick it up through your nano car. Again, he says, as per our details in the systems, you have this particular car with this particular number. So operators ask anything else? Nothing, by the way. Aren't you giving me that free bottles of cola as advertised? Operator says, we normally would, sir, but based on your record, you are also diabetic. So customer badmouths the operator. So operator in response says, sir, better watch your language, because you remember in the last couple of years ago, you were convicted of abusing language on the policeman. So what happens? The customer faints. I'm just showing you the dark side of the metaverse, right? It's not only the information system, because we have seen that its metaverse comprises of systems, technologies, and physical world. So we are talking about the dark side, and here there comes the concept of cyberspace. So we were talking of cyber physical environment. So cyberspace in which the communication happens over a network, and everyone is one way or the other connected to it. So we have seen that IoT is one of the founding technologies, or the foundational technology of the metaverse, and which connects each and everything. So it's not only the people connection, but also the connection of things with the people. So all are going to be connected. So if you look at it, uh, cyberspace, number of terms, but yes, in the metaverse domain, it will have its own uh, meaning. And when we say cyber crime, that plays in the crime that takes place in the cyberspace. Can you guess which are the top five countries, or can you guess what is the India's number in the cyber crimes, in terms of cyber crimes? Anyone? Can anyone guess? It's number four, right? Number four in the world, and it is rising continuously, and it is rising at a very alarming rate, by the way. And if you look at it, you know, it's okay, but interesting thing is, you just look at this state here. UP is number two. Number one is Karnataka, which we can understand because of the presence of the IT companies, or major IT hub is the Karnataka, but UP is almost very close to Karnataka. And if you look at it, the motives of cybercrime, so majorly it's fraud, causing disrepute, and sexual exploitation. These are the primarily the number primary reasons or motives, rather than reasons. I'll rather say the primary motives behind the cyber crimes. Now you may ask me why I'm talking of this when I am supposed to talk of uh, metaverse, the issues or the security, ethical, and social issues in the metaverse. Before this, I'll come to that aspect as well. You know Jamtara? Anyone of you knows Jamtara? Jamtara or Jamtara? Any of the participants know? Jamtara or Jamtara? It's a village in Jharkhand. And many of those villagers are, if not Arabpati, but definitely Karodpatis. Their houses are bigger than some of the celebrities' house even. Anyone know what Jamtara is? Why this village is famous or infamous for? Anyone? Nitya ma'am? Nitya ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you just open your cameras, please? Just tell me if any one of you know, or have you heard of Jamtara? There was a web series as well on this particular village by the name of it, same name. So you know what the Jamtara is?
Jamtara is known as the fishing capital of India.
Yes, sir. Absolutely correct. Thank you, Kamlesh sir. Kamlesh sir, that you gave the answer, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ah, that's absolutely correct, sir. It's a village in. It's not only fishing. It's they do all types of cyber frauds. And interestingly, if you look at it, they are all majorly of these the youths of these villages are hardly 10th class 10th pass outs. But what they do, they even have frauded, or if they have committed, they have made fool of IPS officers, big celebrities including Shilpa Shetty, Shavana Azmi, various IS officers, and even to a certain extent, to sometimes to a MLA of small MLAs as well. Now think of it, a class people who are rarely graduated or who don't have that solid educational background, they are frauding the people. This is also an interesting one. Huh? So it's funny, at the same time, a very serious aspect. So many of the people in the urban areas are now getting this vacuum cleaners which are automated, right? So Xiaomi is one company which comes up with this, and so on. Now this is a real incident which happened, that a person who was sitting on the toilet seat, his pictures got leaked on Facebook because the robotic vacuum cleaner captured it and published it on Facebook. Someone hacked it. Look at the crime that is happening. Why I am talking about it? So if you look at it, whatever concerns are right now are in the digital or in the internet era, what we call right now in our digital world, same are going to be there in the metaverse, but with a higher degree. Why with a higher degree? The higher degree is because of the its immersiveness. So whatever is there, because of its advantage. So we know we have understood during the last 4 days and today's morning session as well, that one of the biggest advantage of metaverse is its immersiveness. Now that also becomes a weakness when we talks in terms of security, ethical and social aspects in the metaverse. So same thing, what is strength becomes a weakness as well. So if you look at it, majority of the issues that are going to arise in this domain is concerns to the privacy and security issues. Then we are going to talk about cyberbullying or online abuse, as well as the offensive behavior. If you look at it from the marketer's point of view, the marketer cites data, privacy, and brand safety as the primary concerns within the metaverse. So 64% of the marketers cites either the data, privacy, and brand safety as the major primary concerns within the metaverse. Let me show you a small video here of hyperlocality, and it's I really found this thing very interesting. Just pay attention to this video.
Bastante. Apúrate si quieres una buena calificación. Voy lo más rápido que puedo. ¿Has pensado en correr? Es saludable y eficiente. Seguro que no hay más trabajos disponibles. Estudié para ser profesora y estoy haciendo mercados. Y además puedes quedarte con los puntos de fidelización. Eres una noche afortunada. Tienes que confiar en la aplicación. ¿Te sientes inspirada? Gracias. Chao. ¿Quién soy yo? No, eso no es lo que quiero decir. ¿Para dónde voy? No, puedo volver a empezar. Olvídalo. Estoy presente ahora. Veo. Estoy libre de mi ira. Estoy libre de mi tristeza. también. No se preocupe, sus puntos están seguros conmigo. ¿Le puedo ayudar en algo más, Emilio? Yo no soy Emilio, yo soy Juliana Restrepo. Por favor, espere.
Hola, Juliana Restrepo. Me alegra verte. ¿Qué puedo hacer por ti?
Mis puntos están bien. ¿Qué está pasando?
Tranquila, todo está bien. Parece que alguien está intentando vulnerar su cuenta. Por favor, espere mientras reinicio su dispositivo. Hola, Juliana. Me alegra verte. Hoy te ves hermosa. ¿Estás estrenando zapatos?
Ya lo arreglaron. Tengo que seguir trabajando.
Estoy trabajando en eso, pero necesito verificar tu información biométrica. Por favor, sigue la línea azul hasta el centro de servicio más cercano para confirmar tu identidad.
Sí, pero mis puntos están bien.
Todo está bien. Chao.
¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué está pasando? No, mis puntos. ¿Qué hago? ¿Qué es eso?
So you have seen in this video whatever we have discussed in the yesterday's class as well, yesterday's session by Mr. Rupesh regarding gamification. You could have seen here the application of gamification there. But what happens in the end? What happens in the end? Can anyone elaborate a little bit on that? What happened in the end? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So can anyone elaborate what happened in the end here? How this lady got that injury? And then what happened? So if you look at there, in fact, she was compromised. That means her security was compromised. Someone came and took her biometric identification to hack her account in the metaverse. And that's why she has to go and start a new life, or not in the terms of real world, but in the digital world, in the virtual world. That's what happened in this. So that's what we are going to talk about today in this session. This is not only about ethics, but so it's a combination of both ethics, social, as well as technical aspects. So which gives rise to the security and privacy issues. So as we know, ethics is nothing but the principle of right and wrong, that individual acting as free moral agents used to make choices to guide their behavior. Okay, can you tell me one ethical behavior or one condition or one some illustration to say where you are ethically correct but maybe legally wrong, or vice versa, where you may be ethically correct but maybe legally wrong. It's illegal that what you have done. So because ethics and legal are two separate things, please do not confuse ethics with legal. Sometimes they points to one direction, sometimes they points to opposite direction. So sometimes you may have an issue where it may be ethically wrong as well as legally wrong. But you may, many times you may have a situation when you may be ethically correct but legally wrong, or you may be legally correct but ethically wrong. Let me give you an example here, right, of being ethically correct but legally wrong. Suppose some known person of yours suffers a heart attack and you are in the rural domain. You just go there, you just and there is no one else. You are the person with a car there. You take this relative of yours to the nearby hospital, and the nearby hospital person says that the doctor or the whosoever the paramedic is available there, he demands amounts 5,000 rupees, and you have that amount of money, but ideally that person should not demand the money but provide, or it is only 100 rupees that is required to treat the person now as per the government norms. Now whether you decide to give or not, say if I am there, I'll give that 5,000 money. So I am legally wrong when I'm giving this amount of money because I'm giving a bribe there, but ethically I'll be correct in my view. So one we have to understand here is legal is common for all.
Sir, one more example can be there.
Yes, sir.
If somebody is, facing the starvation and he is dying of, lack of food, and if he or she steal the food, this is ethically correct but legally wrong, I think.
Absolutely correct, sir. So, sir, Kamlesh sir, what you have said mentioned is also an absolutely a very apt example for the same. So what we have to see here is the ethics is each and individual's behavior. It is defined by individual's personality, his or her culture, or her conditioning over the period of time. While rules or legals are basically embedded in rules of the law. So they are same for each and everyone. Now, why we are talking about this is because when we talk about metaverse is going to raise really, really new ethical questions. Now, why it is going to raise new ethical questions? Because it is going to create conditions for intense social change. And this intense social change is not only going to change the way we behave, it is also going to threaten the existing distribution of power, rights, and obligations. So in this scenario, we may see various different kinds of crimes that are not existing in today's world. So this is a very interesting thing. Probably when we'll go forward, I'll throw some more light on there. So when we look at it, the metaverse is basically going to challenge the 5 domains, right? And what are those 5 domains? Let me say to you. So this is one is the right to information and the obligation that comes along with it. Then the property rights. So in terms of the intellectual property rights will be, and its obligations will also be challenged, will also see a large amount of disturbance. This is also going to provide with a system quality aspect as well, right? And then who is accountable and who is going to control each and everything? So is it the platform providers are going to control? Is it the user is going to control? On so many other things. Along with this is all going to impact the quality of life as well. So these five domains or five areas or five aspects are going to be challenged in a big way by the metaverse. And this will give rise not only to ethical, social, and political issues, but it will also going to provide concerns related to at an individual level, at a society level, and a polity level as well. So for example, if you look at it, just look at the issues that happened with Facebook, right? And Facebook has to that was Analytica Cambridge, if I'm correct, I am able to recall correctly the this company that was involved in influencing the US presidential elections. And this is that it is not only US because it is not known, but because that thing came to the light, that issue came to the light. But this is in India also, in other Western worlds, as well as in large number of Asian countries. The social media networks are being used for political benefits, for political gains. And you can think of it, then definitely there is going to be issues related to social and ethics as well. So these are all, ideally, if you look at it in the previous slide, if I just go back to the previous slide, though there are boundaries here, right, which I have drawn here, but in a real world scenario, there is no boundaries as such. It's a continuum. So it's a continuum from here to this point, right? It is only for merely for understanding purpose that we have drawn the boundaries here. Otherwise, there are no, as such, no boundaries. So when we talk of ethics, ethics also, is going to drive all this. So ethical issues, it has been long categorized by Mason in 1986 into four major areas, and that's related to the personal information ownership. One is privacy or privacy, and it's going to be a big topic of debate in the metaverse domain. And this is all about what type of information is held about the individual and by whom. So the one, privacy, what information is held. Second is accuracy, is it correct? And in metaverse, it is going to be to a large extent, it is going to be a very correct. But I'll come and I'll counter my this statement again with a certain other aspect as well. The third is the property. So who is going to own this thing? As I said, the companies, the users, the third parties, and so on. And who else is going to have this access to this information, and under which conditions? So all these are the aspects. These are going to concerns with the ethical concerns in the metaverse. Kindly feel free to raise any questions or any query if you have at any point of time. Fletcher provides an alternative perspective, and he raises this from the marketer's perspective as well. So he is talking about transparency, because privacy, again, as per Fletcher, He looks at it a privacy as a perspective rather than a tangible aspect. The second one is the security. How is information protected once collected by the firm, and who is going to be liable or responsible if the data is compromised? Now let's look at it. What kind of data will be there? Because whatever is known right now, this is, I found, a very interesting thing. So we talked about extended reality, mixed reality, extended reality. So in the metaverse, these information are going to be collected, and that's very clear. These are going to be very easily collected. It can be collected even in today's term, but in metaverse you can think of it. I'm just giving you a small tip of the iceberg. So when you are wearing the headsets, right, your eye opening and closure, that means blink duration and its frequency, the average distance between eyelids, your eye movement, that means your gaze fixations, second is smooth pursuit, ocular tremor, the eye status, whether it is reddened, watery, dry, at what stage, what was the duration of that, the properties of your eye, the pupil of the eye, that is pupil size and its reactivity, even the iris characteristics like eye color, iris texture, as well as clubbed with it facial attributes like wrinkles, eye shape, skin color, facial expression. All these are going to be captured in a big way in the metaverse domain. Now let's try to look at it. What inference anyone can take out from this data? So some of the possible inferences about a person that can be inferred out of this data is number of things. You can find out the personality trait of that person. You can identify the you can verify its biometric identity. You can assess the mental health of that person. You can assess the cultural background along with the physical health. You can also have the data to find out about the skills and abilities that this person have, along with other aspects like level of sleepiness, geographical origin, gender, cognitive processes, drug consumption, mental workload, and age. Now look at it. What else you require? Now, at the same time, as we say, why gun was invented? Why gun was invented? Anyone? Guns invention, original intent of invention was to protect oneself rather than to kill someone. But similar is the metaverse, and similar thing is happening with the technology in general, and that is also applicable to the metaverse domain as well. So you can see here, no doubts, as a marketing professional, you can do wonders with the kind of inferences that your data is going to throw at you. But if this thing also falls into the wrong hands, I'm leaving it to you people to just look at what harm it can do if someone has access to this kind of information or data. So just let me take small, because we looked at it that stories, or it is storynomics, are becoming big and big. And in fact, in metaverse domain, storytelling will have its own importance. So let me take the story time here, and this story time is about to raise some of the very couple of the security concern, cyber security concern. that are going to be very prominent in the metaverse domain. So it is in general, but you can just assume or just imagine how grave these concerns will be in the metaverse domain. So these names are just for indication. Don't take it by anyone thing, but yes. So Preeti is a beautiful and popular girl in the college, and she is very active on multiple social media platforms. By nature, Preeti is an adventurous girl who likes traveling and try to go for really tracking kind of sites. So what she do, she uses this check-in feature of her social media profile to tag the places she has been to. So I don't know whether you know it or not. Your most of the social media platforms have this check-in feature where it automatically captures wherever you are. Now, what Rishi is another guy who is in the college who studies along with the Preeti in the college, and he keeps stalking Preeti on social media. So one day, as Preeti likes to take adventurous tour, she decides to go on a solo trekking trip. So what she do? She updates her plan on social media with the whole itinerary. So Rishi also came to know because he follows her on social media. So he decides to follow her on the trip. So uh, he follows her, and when in the mountains, he finds her alone and molests her. So though Preeti cries and shouts, which scared Rishi, and she runs away. But Preeti visits the police station, and inspector investigates the whole case, and it tracks the whereabouts of Rishi and arrests him. Now, can you tell me what is this is known as this crime? What Rishi has done? What is the crime is known? So he has done physical crime as well as a cyber crime. The physical crime is okay, molesting, but what is the cyber crime here? Anyone? This is cyber stalking. This is known as cyber stalking. And think of it, in this is going to increase like anything in the metaverse domain. So when you are talking about the digital and the physical world becoming one, whatever crimes are there in the physical world, similar crimes will be there in the metaverse domain. But the problem there in the metaverse domain is going to be who is going to police it. Okay, let me show you another story. Right? So Samir is an innocent and very shy boy. He does not feel confident to talk with people face to face. So, like Ajit was mentioning, he's also a bit introvert. So this Samir is a very introvert kind of a person, chap. Now, one day Himesh, who's in the same class or in same school which Samir goes to, he arouses this young chap Samir and harasses him by calling him a coward. So Samir ignores them as he's an introvert and he does not likes to argue. He's not looking for an argument. So what Himesh but does not stop here. What he does, he creates a troll page in the name of Samir on social media. And now he started abusing as well as making fun of Samir on that by posting adult jokes and other derogatory remarks for Samir. He also posts several memes and funny videos, and some of them which goes viral, right? And this becomes viral. Now, this does not happen most of the time, but Samir becomes depressed, and ultimately he tells his parents. His parents complain to the school authorities as well as to the police station, and the cyber cell comes into the picture. I don't know how many of you have seen this movie, the recent Akshay Kumar and Pankaj Tripathi starrer, Oh My God 2. Has anyone of you have seen that movie? Any of you have watched that movie? A very interesting movie. If you have not watched it, I'll recommend in my personal capacity, because I just watched it a couple of days back, and I really liked the movie and the subject line, or the subject that the movie has touched upon. It is about sex education, but there you will find a similar kind of instance. And you know what is this is known as? This crime is known as? Any idea? What this crime is known as? Anyone? This is known as cyberbullying. Right, very correct, Nitya ma'am. This is cyberbullying. So the bullying is happens in the physical world. So just look at it. The same crime that is happening in the physical world, that can happen in the metaverse world as well. And the challenge is to find out that particular crime and to catch the culprit is going to be really, really tough. Because in the metaverse, just look at it. We were talking of avatars, right? That the people will create their own avatars, interact in the metaverse. Now, this is an interesting survey. What people said. So, the people said they will pretend to be someone else, or what it meant was that they will create their own alter ego in the metaverse domain. Because that's what the question was asked to them. What would you do in the metaverse that you can never do in real life? So we know that there are certain emotions, certain feelings, certain things that get suppressed with many people over a period of time because of their experiences, their conditions, their context. And they said that they are going to take out those. There's a very famous movie in South by Chia Vikram. I think the superstar Vikram is the hero in that. Aparichit, right? I am correct. If I'm correct, I don't know. Vikram is primarily a Tamil actor. Am I correct, Nitya ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Right? Tamil. It's originally it was in Tamil.
Yes, yes, sir.
Language. And then later it was also dubbed in Hindi. I watched it in Hindi.
Okay, sir.
Right, so there was an alter ego of the hero there, right? The actor
That's
Vikram
true.
so has two alter egos, right?
Yes.
Interesting movie, and they are very diametrically opposite to each other. So what will happen if person who is usually we cannot have that, though he was suffering from that particular disease, but in that picture it was shown like that. But what happens if people create their alter egos in the metaverse? and that can be something going to create a huge social issue, which may lead to large number of ethical and other issues as well. Also, 50 more than 54 people said they are going to design an avatar that does not look like them in the real life. I don't know, that's a deep rooted social issue, or it's going to be a social issue in the metaverse. That means 50 more than 50% people are doesn't like themselves in their present shape, or it also means that they want to be something else in the metaverse space. So if you look at it, the metaverse, do it talks about immersive interaction. It also going to promote socialization. It will have that real world building thing and expandability. So all the four domains are going to be the benefits of this the metaverse, right? But let's look at it. What are the issues that are going to come up because of this? So there is a very good research paper. As I said, these are the things. Some those things are still coming up. So I am talking about the major about this aspects, that is the security and the privacy issues. So man in the middle attack is most common attack that is going to be there in the socialization. That means when you are going to go in the, someone is going to go in the metaverse area, and the objective is to socialize, but you don't know whether you are connecting with the same person. So let's say a Harsh goes to the metaverse domain to interact with Rishi, but whether Harsh is interacting with Rishi, whom he believes to be a Rishi, but whether that person is actually Rishi or not, it may be compromised if there is a man in the middle attack is there. Similarly, in the immersive interaction, biometric leakage. We just saw in the video that I have shown you just few minutes before. I showed you the biometric leakage there. Similarly, third-party tracking, cross-app tracking is something that is going to become issue with the expandability. While in the real world buildings, the meta user relations, how they're going to have the privacy aspect is something that is still not imaginative, or it is still in the infancy stage. Along with that, the combination of all these, right, like virtual economy security, data security, and privacy in digital twin. So we were talking of digital twin yesterday. Both uh, Mr. Rupesh as well as Mala madam and even Amit, Dr. Amit also talked about the digital twins. So we don't know what side it will talk about or take about, but yes, there are going to be issues with data and security, or data security and privacy issues in digital twin. Though there are solutions that are there, but let me tell you, they are still in very infantile stage. But if someone are looking at as an uh, career opportunity, this is a big career opportunity. So if you as an academicians, if you people are looking at domains for research, and this is typically you can, both management people can look at it from social angle, while the technical people can look at it from the technical aspect only, computer science people. So that's a big area for research as well as to come up in the near future. If you look at it, this is the real world. We are going to use all these devices. So the man in the middle attack can be there. It can be in terms of the data as well as from data to metaverse. So we looked at it, cloud computing is there. Then denial of service attack, DOS. DOS attack can also be there, right? That is also one of the aspect there that can happen. So there are large number of domains where these all things can, or when these things happen. So whether if the man in the middle attack or DOS attack happens, this is going to impact your metaverse, and whole metaverse is going to be impacted because of this. Just look at it in this. You know this guy? Anyone knows this person? Who this person is? Are you aware about who this person is? Anyone? He's Richard Nixon, right? And you know, during his tenure, the Neil Armstrong and Edwin landed on moon. So our Chandrayaan landed day before yesterday, and these they say, I don't know, though there is a conspiracy or there is a theory that they never landed. It was all a staged thing. But just look at it, what he says.
The men who went to the moon to explore peace will stay on the moon, rest in peace. The men who went to the moon to explore peace will stay on the moon and rest in peace. These brave men, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin, know that there is no hope for their recovery. They also know that there is hope for mankind. In their sacrifice. They will be mourned by a Mother Earth that dared send two of her sons into the unknown.
The men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace.
मेरे को अभी करना है। क्या करना है, यही तो करना। गवर्नेंस है कि गवर्नर्स होगा? बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नेंस नहीं होता, बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नर्स होता है। ये चेक करवा लीजिएगा, ठीक है?
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
ठीक है?
It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. These brave men, Neil Armstrong and Edwin
कभी 13
Aldrin,
सिलेक्शंस इसमें है कि नहीं?
know that there's no hope for their recovery.
ये 13 क्लास चल रही है। हाँ, इसको आगे लेके आगे देखिए। Sorry, yeah. So what you have seen is a deep fake, right? You might have seen this term coming up again and again, deep fakes. There are a lot of deep fakes going on, and here you have seen the technology by MIT. They have shown you how it looks like that the person Nixon is saying something which is actually not the case here. right? So please, as you have seen, a small things of this, what is happening because of these kind of things that is happening in our country, even not only in our country but whole world. So please, before looking at or before trusting the content of any video that you come across on social media also, please be very, very assured that the content or whatever of the content of the video is correct or not, and it is not a fake video, right? So this is what, so if you look at it in the metaverse, the securities or the security aspect or the risks that are going to come up not only, sorry, relates to cyber security, it is also going to be concerns with physical security as well. Because one thing that you have to understand here is that motion sickness is going to happen. So that will also give rise to physical security. Then there is can be a disorientation if people is immersed too much into the metaverse. It will result in disorientation for them in the physical world, right? As well as there is going to be risks related to integrity, as well as the habits of the person may develop that may not be that may not be compatible with the real life. Then there is going to be physical and moral integrity. So harassment, intimidation, rape in the virtual space, that is something going to create a large number of uh, legal domain. So now you might have heard that people have two Chennai couples, did their wedding in the metaverse domain. But the caution is, if something similar, this kind of crime happens in the virtual space, is the person legally going to be put up behind the bars? So our laws has also to evolve. Our policing system has to evolve, right? Then there is identity theft. I don't know, in the metaverse this is going to be a really, really big challenge. We just saw that in the video that identity theft happened in the last, when the biometric of that lady was compromised, her identity was taken out. Privacy is something very interesting aspect, and there is no as a standard definition to as such define the word privacy. Then there is going to be issues related to the large number of digital contact. So there is going to be a huge number of cognitive and mental issues that are going to come up. Along with that, scams and theft of virtual goods, that is definitely going to be there. So in that particular video, that in the first instance which I showed, but I've seen there are large number of theft of virtual goods was also being done there. Now, interestingly, how many of you are on Facebook and so how many of you are on Facebook and Twitter? Just raise your hands. Or how many of you are on Twitter? Because in case if you are on Twitter, let me tell you, have you ever gone through the terms of service, right? Or the terms of services or the privacy policies of these particular social media networks? Let me show you some of the terms of services and your rights. What is, as per these terms of services of the Twitter, if you create an account on Twitter, what are your rights? And you will be surprised to know some of these. let me share one tab here. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Just look at it. Now they talks of your rights, right? And grant of rights in the content. So though you retain your rights to any content you submit, post or display on or through the services, what's yours is yours, your own, you own your content. But by submitting, posting or display content on or through the services, you, that means we, grant us means here means Twitter. You can see here, this is the website, the link, hyperlink. So by submitting, posting or displaying content on or through the services, you grant us, that means you grant a Twitter a worldwide non-exclusive royalty-free license with the right to sub-license as well, mind you, to use, copy, reproduce, process, adapt, modify, publish, transmit, display, and distribute such content in any and all media or distribution methods now known or later developed. Now look at it. What remains? Though you own your right, huh? Just look at it. In case of certain infringement or some issues, how much you will get back from Twitter? Limitation of liability, right? To the maximum extent permissible by applicable law, the Twitter entities should not be liable for any indirect, incidental, spatial, consequential, or punitive damages, or any loss of profits or revenues, whether incurred directly or indirectly, or any loss of data, use, goodwill, or other intangible losses resulting from your access to or use of or inability to access to use the services, any conduct or content of any third party on the services, including without limitation any defamatory, offensive, or illegal conduct of other users or third parties, though they are providing this information to the third party, any content obtained from the services or use or alteration. So aggregate liability of the Twitter entities exceed in no event, it should not exceed, it shall not exceed the greater of 100 US dollar or the amount you paid to us, if any, in the past 6 months. And mind you, you have to go to US courts to get this $100. That's your things that you will get from. Interesting. That's we are signing this because we are agreeing this, right? So let me show you a privacy aspect.
Ambition is passion, enthusiasm directed towards
Is it
a
audible?
singular goal. I'm in the feelings business. My best
Yes, sir.
movies, people are crying. I want to see people moved to tears through triumph.
Tom, welcome. So your approach, though, to the problems that these digital ad giants have created is a capitalist approach, even more than also calling for regulation, though you are calling for both. Explain.
That's exactly right. Look, a lot of us are concerned about the consequences or the negative effects of the government stepping in and overreaching and setting new regulations that undercut the value of the internet and the possibilities that businesses enjoy now to leverage data to grow their top lines. We also recognize, though, that companies like Meta have trampled on our privacy, and the drums are beating. It's not a passing fad, it's a potential extinction level event for Meta and other companies. So our approach here is to propose standards that help us get it right. We think there's a middle path that allows consumers to enjoy greater privacy and trust and security of their data, while again allowing businesses to collect data responsibly to grow their businesses.
Now, as we see today, Alphabet is doing very well, better than 30% top line growth led by the core search and advertising business. So in a way, is your approach not bullish on these names, effectively arguing that their problems become growth markets in and of themselves?
That's exactly right. Look, I don't know if Meta is going to meet or exceed expectations. What I do know is that their profits are going to be gigantic, and it's going to be further evidence of the unbreakable market power that they've assembled. Now, look, we can disagree on the perils of concentration of power like this. The more fundamental problem is the costs that we've all incurred as companies like Facebook continue to assemble this kind of market power. It comes at the expense of trust and security and privacy. What animates a lot of the concern and excitement around crypto is as mentioned before the break, this idea of trust and security of data. A similar concern animates what a lot of us are doing now in the realm of privacy.
Hey, Tom, I wonder, of course, the consumer himself is not standing still. They are getting less trusting in big media and certainly technology, more sophisticated. I wonder, as we move in, say, to the metaverse and away from the classic news feed, are you optimistic that maybe the audience is a little more, I don't want to say jaded, but grounded on what they're seeing and hearing?
Well, I think certainly as more consumers move to the metaverse, I think the problems that we're seeing today will only be accentuated, right? We're going to see more of these troubles, not less of them. And I think that as more people spend more of their time in the metaverse, they're going to become increasingly concerned. Many consumers today would rather just trade off convenience for privacy, right? And Facebook and other companies have enjoyed the benefits of that trade-off. But I think you're right. As more people move to the metaverse, we're going to see more of these kinds of heightened awareness of the perils of data and how it's being used and how big companies, big tech, are abusing it.
Tom, what makes you think that users are going to, sacrifice convenience for that privacy? Is there an indication? I mean, when we look at sales of Oculus over the Christmas period or the holiday period, we saw that the downloads were, it was at the top of the App Store. So what indication do you have that this will actually hinder Meta's ambitions there?
Well, the first most important thing to take note of is just the mounting array of regulations now that have taken root in Europe with
But
GDPR.
That's from lawmakers, not users, right? And there's always been this disconnect.
No, and I think you're absolutely right. I think there is this kind of disparity between what the governments are trying to do now to protect the interests of their citizens and consumers, and more consumers definitely preferring that convenience to security. Look, I think it's, certainly the majority of consumers are going to prefer to make that kind of trade-off. It's the 5 to 10 to 20%, right, who are making their voices heard and are saying, I'm not going to work with this kind of approach anymore. Those are the people who are taking action, and I think we need to be attentive to their concerns. That's what my colleagues and I in the Ethical Tech Project are taking seriously. We also see, I can tell you, because I run a privacy and data security company, we see a lot of our customers coming to us now and saying, look, I want to be the opposite of that. I want to demonstrate that I'm a great steward of my consumers' data. And so can you help me get this right? Can I deploy new standards, new tools to really responsibly collect and use consumer data? Because I'm betting that in the long arc of things, that's going to be an enduring source of power for my company.
So I think you might have heard what this guy was talking about. And you could have seen that the impact of this security and privacy aspects on the performance of the firm, as well as the big aspect in the future as well. So yes, definitely these are certain security aspects in the metaverse domain. So the dangers, if you look at it, same thing as I've put it in a different format here. This is I've taken from another source. So like privacy is an illusion. First of all, just look at it. Take this as a one. It's all about perspective. You think you have a privacy, but in the internet era or in the digital world, you don't have any privacy. So I usually used to say to these students when I used to teach them at IIM Shillong, I used to tell them, see, just keep one thing in mind. Whatever goes onto the internet once, it will never be taken down. It will be some there, it can never be deleted. When I'm saying taken down, it means it can never be deleted. It may be somewhere in some of the some person's hard disk or some server or somewhere. Abuse, harassment, and legal content, increase in inequality, that may also be some of the aspect that may around. The datafication of everything, increased polarization. It may happen like Matrix movie. The bad bots may come up and take control. Imposter avatars or the fake avatars, biased AI, health issues, and data security. So these are some of the dangers in the metaverse. So if I have to tell you, like if I have to suggest, this is from the Sprout social.com, and they, as per them, these are the ways to safeguard your brand in the metaverse. So you have to create a separate metaverse data security team. You have to look at and develop metaverse terms and conditions, then policies, and then create a moderation team which is going to look over the whole metaverse. So this is about metaverse in the marketing. Our brand is in decline. What's our plan? The metaverse, put on these goggles and enter a virtual world. So one loves brand. So you have to be somewhere connected to the physical world as well. With this, I'll stop here and I open the house for any kind of things. I hope I am able to show my slides, right? Hello. Was my slides visible?
No, sir.
No. Okay. I thought I have shared it. Sorry. Okay. Very sorry. I thought I have shared it. So this is the last slide that I showed you. These are the dangers of metaverse, like where the privacy is in, and this is just a different representation of the same thing. But yes, definitely one thing we have to look at here is the privacy is going to be an illusion in the metaverse. There's going to be the datafication of everything. The people are going to definitely come with imposter avatars. That is one risk. Increased polarization, biased AI, bad bots controlling the web. These are the certain things which are going to be there. So if you look at it from Sprout Social, these are the certain ways to safeguard your brand in the metaverse. That you have to first is to create a security team. Then you develop terms and conditions for the metaverse usage along with its security and privacy policy. And then you create a team which keeps a eye on the potential dangers in the metaverse. So with this, I'll stop here and I'll open the forum for the things. This is just a funny take on the metaverse and in the marketing domain. It's just a humorous take on that. That I hope might have got some idea of the metaverse domain during